I want to ask you a question, but it's not a complicated question. When did your organization last sit down formally on the calendar to review the management accounts? Not to approve the year-end audit, not a glance at the report in the board book, a dedicated review of the management accounts, that the management accounts are on the table, the right people are in the room, and a structured conversation about what the numbers mean are taking place. So if you're pausing right now, and if you're trying to remember the last time that happened, or whether it has ever happened as a formal process, then this video is definitely for you. This week, I want to talk about accountability structures. Not accountability in the abstract sense, not as a value or an aspiration, but accountability as a physical structure, a calendar event, a recurring conversation, a decision-making rhythm. So in most of the organizations, and that is non-profits for that matter, I have seen some that operate in their best financial infrastructure. One structure appears consistently. And on the flip side, in the organization that I have experienced the struggle with, or sometimes the ones that completely lose out on it, one structure is almost always absent. So it is this monthly management accounts review. So by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what it is, why it is the single most important financial accountability mechanism available to a nonprofit, and why most organizations have something in its place that sounds similar but is not. So let me define this precisely, because the name accountability sometimes gets used very loosely. A monthly management accounts review is a structured meeting. It's held within 15 working days of the month, in which the right people that need to review the management account are in the room. They're asking the right questions and they're reaching decisions. And this definition has 4 parts, and every part matters. So let's look at what these parts are. So part 1, it is structured. It's not informal, and it's not let's look at the numbers when we get a moment. It's a calendar event with a fixed agenda, the same agenda every month, and participants who come are prepared for the meeting. Part 2, it is done within a timeline, usually best practice within 15 working days of the end month. This is the close deadline applied to review, and it relates very well to the monthly closing cadence that I talked about earlier in why some organizations struggle to have month-end close. So if you cannot produce accounts within 15 days, you cannot review them within 15 days. So timing is accountability, and lateness is definitely a symptom. So the third part is that the right people are in the room. This varies by organization size, but it always includes whoever is responsible for financial management, the executive director, or maybe at minimum the treasurer, depending on where the organization is with its structure. But in larger organizations, you find that program leads, who are also the budget holders, are the ones that are responsible for this conversation. Then part 4 is that in this meeting, decisions are made. We are able to reach decisions because this is what separates a review from a report. The purpose is not to receive the information in this review. The purpose is to act on it, on the information that you are consuming, so that every review should produce at least one clear decision or one named action. Because so a review without decision is just like reading of documents, and it cannot count as accountability. So now, let me tell you what most organizations have instead. And talking from almost 2 decades of experience in this field. 1, they have a board meeting held every 6 to 8 weeks in which a finance report is included somewhere in a 20-page board pack. The treasurer presents it, the board nods, any questions? Met with silence, and life goes on. Or they have an informal monthly catch-up, probably between the ED and the finance manager, which produces no formal record, no decisions, and no accountability trail. Or most commonly, they have nothing systematic at all. The accounts are produced, they are emailed to the relevant people, or everybody is told that your BVAs are available, and they are not discussed. So each of these 3 actions, they actually look like accountability, but the truth is none of them is. The difference is this: accountability requires a structured moment where specific people are required to explain specific numbers, and each specific decision is made. Without that structure, financial information flows into an organization without ever being properly interrogated. So, and we know information without interrogation is not oversight. It's actually just filing. So I want to explain why this one structure. The monthly management review is the structure that everything else depends on. Think about the 4 warning signs that I spoke about last week if you were able to interact with my last week's videos. Reactive budgeting, a monthly review checks the budget variance month by month, not at the year end when it's too late to change. If you look at the second thing that I mentioned about restricted fund confusion, a monthly review with the right agenda includes a restricted fund reconciliation. Every month, nothing gets buried. And the third one is that for the slow close, a monthly review has a deadline. Accounts must be available by a certain date. That deadline forces the financial function to work towards it. And finally, the board disengagement. A monthly review that includes the board treasurer's input keeps at least one board member genuinely connected to the finances between the larger board meetings. So what I'm saying is that the monthly management review, it does not solve all the 4 warning signs, like I said, but it creates the condition in which all 4 can be caught early before they compound. It is, in the most real sense, the structure that protects everything else. And so, financial accountability is not a feeling, it is not a value statement, and it is not how much you care about the mission. It is a recurring structure on a calendar. If you do not have a formal monthly management account review in your organization, that is not a gap in your process. It is a gap in your governance. But the good news is, it is one of the most straightforward gaps to close. You do not need a consultant. You need a recurring calendar event, an agenda, and the willingness to ask the questions that the numbers are asking you. Before you close this video, one question to sit with you. If someone asked you right now to produce the minutes from your last management accounts review as the head of finance for any organization, that is, what would you hand them? In my next upcoming video, I am going to share a story about the moment a board finally engaged. And I am lucky because I have been able to be on the both sides. I am your person on the board side, and I'm your person on the head of finance side. So I will be sharing that personal experience. That's something that changed my perspective, and what made that meeting different. It's more personal than today, and I think it will land. So subscribe so that you're here for it. Thank you for watching, and let's meet in the next.